Hello and welcome to the 5th episode of Behind the Fence here. I am sports director here at Fairfield Current, Dan Harris, and this is the lead sports writer, Jeff Vaughan. We're glad to be bringing you this 5th episode of Behind the Fence, and we got a lot of highlights today, Jeff.
Beautiful week this past
week.
week. Not too hot. Some people thought it was a little bit chilly. I absolutely loved it. Thought it was perfect. And you had... See, you just have the one game this week plus Friday's game.
Last Friday's game.
Which is a waste. I'm not a waste. A shame. I only had one home game this week as well. Next week, it's busy all the way around, so I kind of wish we would have had more home games this week, but not anything's perfect.
Both squads had 3 games this week. They played Carmi on Tuesday at Carmi, then they played at Waltonville on Wednesday, and then yesterday they played Carmi at home. And it was a tough week for the Fairfield baseball team, and we're going to get into those highlights right now. Start off with a game from last Friday. This is Sisney High School versus Fairfield at Fairfield. Mason Baird on the mound. You see Mason field a ground out to him. First play of the game, gets the easy out at first. And then you're going to see a ground out to the second baseman. And Mason was rolling early against the Lions. You see him get another strikeout here on the offensive side of the ball. It was Jake Pollard here getting the deep drive to right center field. Misplayed there by the right fielder, and Fairfield gets on the board early. They took an early 4-0 lead after 2 innings. You see Brandon Clevenger here picking up a base hit to right field and advancing the base runners and getting an RBI, driving in Mason Barrett. And then you're going to see senior Fisher Wagner hit one right at the pitcher, bounces over the pitcher's mound, and he collects another RBI. They're going to send another man home, but the relay throw was in time, and he was not quite under the tag. And Coach Jeff Baker's squad would start the comeback trail. Now you see Sisney getting a base hit, getting a run in here, and advancing runner second. Now you get Barrett back at the dish, and Sisney's going to force a double play here in the last inning. It was a very close game. Fairfield came back. And you see Dakota Young drive a ball deep to left field. The bases loaded with a chance to tie, but an outstanding catch by the center fielder there to end the game. Sisney wins 9-6. Moving on to yesterday's game versus Carmi, Black Diamond Conference game against the Bulldogs. This is the 3rd time they played the Bulldogs this year. And it didn't start off too well for the Mules. Out of the second pitch of the game, the Carmi leadoff hitter hit it out of the park to left field. See him trotting home there. And then you see an error here at third base, or the catcher overthrew the third baseman, and Carmi gets the second run on the board. They were up 3-0 after 1. Then Mason Barrett really settled down, collecting 3 strikeouts here. And then you see Brandon Clevenger on the offensive side of the ball put down just a beautiful bunt to sacrifice the man over. Then again, it was senior Jake Pollard against the lefty on the mound, taking it to right field, driving in the first run of the game for the Mules. Pollard had a good week at the dish. Again, this is the 3rd time the Mules have played Carmi. Lost by 10-run rule each of the first 2 times. And you see Pollard there on second. Now you see Devin Butler here put a ball up the middle. And Carmi's going to try to turn the double play, but can't. So the fielder's choice will score another run. Makes it 5-2 at this point in the game. And then Caleb Smothers will hit the ball up the middle again, and they will flub this one, and another run will score. So Fairfield down just 2. But then Eamon Simpson grounds it up the middle, but they get the out at second, ending the threat, and Carmi defeats Fairfield 9-4. The Mules are now 5-16 on the year, lost 3 games this week. Just been a little bit of a tough stretch here lately for the Mules, but they're a young squad, so keep the faith in them, folks. You never know what can happen come regional time.
That's right, and I mean, if you get hot at the right time, that's all you need. Doesn't matter what happens at the beginning of the year, just what happens at the end. Speaking of having a little bit of a rough time, the Fairfield Lady Mule softball team, they had 3 games this week. You mentioned that. Fell to Carmi 2 times, and they beat Waltonville in the middle there, but they're just having a little bit of trouble scoring runs right now. But Coach Ellis is an excellent coach. He has good assistants, and it's just a really good program, so I expect them to keep on plugging through it. And everybody has down stretches.
Oh, yeah,
you know?
Every team goes ups and down, hills and valleys. But let's take a look at those softball highlights, Jim.
And on Thursday, the Lady Mules faced Carmi for the 2nd time this week, looking to avenge a 2-3 Tuesday loss. Sabrina Seitzinger pitched for the 3rd day in a row for Fairfield, and she had a solid outing once again. 2 grounders to Christina Walker at second helped put Carmi away in the 1st inning, and Seitzinger would keep it up on a very windy day as you see the dirt flying around there in the infield as she goes up high for the swinging strikeout. Later on, Singer is going to induce a pop-up to third base. Now that's a tricky play in this wind, but Chloe Hinkle corrals it anyway and gets the out. As well as Singer pitched, though, her Carmi counterpart was better yesterday. Kaylee Chappell pitched for Carmi, and she had it going, combining high velocity with some deadly off-speed stuff on her way to 12 strikeouts. We're going to jump ahead to the 4th inning now. After a Singer error gave Carmi a runner at first, this pitch is served into the right center field gap. That's going to be a triple, and it scores the runner, giving Carmi a 1-0 lead, and that's all that they would need. The only scoring change for the Mules came in the 6th inning. Back-to-back walks to Kyler Slover and Allison Tullis, put runners on first and second with nobody out. But the momentum switched back to Carmi with this nice play by the catcher on a Julie Jones pop-up. She dives and she makes the catch. That's only the first out, but Chappell would go on and mow the Lady Mules down on her way to a no-hitter. Lady Mules were no-hit in this game. They fall 4-0 to Carmi, and their record on the season is now at 12-7. Total 2-4 in conference. So Dan, Lady Mules got no hit. As you just saw there, they fell to 12-7 on the year, second loss of the week to Carmi. Rough going, but they have a Robinson tournament, I believe, that they're going to on Saturday. It wasn't on the schedule, but they're going to that. And then next week, I mentioned games every day except Monday.
Wow, big week for Mule sports next week. And Fairfield's had their problems with Carmi here in the spring. Fairfield basketball beat Carmi around 4 times last year during the winter season, but baseball has lost to them 3 times, and softball has lost to them twice. Just been a tough go for them here in the spring sports season. But one area that Fairfield did top Carmi in this spring sports season was track. At the Carmi Invite just a couple days ago, they defeated Carmi by 8 points for the overall team title. They had 137. Carmi had 129. I believe Fairfield finished with around 7 or 8 first-place finishes, just doing a fantastic job at that track program, picking up wins. Should also mention the Fairfield JV boys track team won the Black Diamond Conference Championship for JV with just 8 guys. They only had 8 guys going that day.
There you go.
And so a lot of high hopes. The future looking bright for the Fairfield track program. And if you want to see any of these results from any of these games that we're covering, just go to our website at fairfieldcurrent.com. We got wrap-ups, box scores. We have all the track and field stats that you can have. And Fairfield track and field is looking to try to make a run at sectionals here coming up at the end of next month.
That was a really nice pun right there. That was just nice and subtle. Bravo.
I really did like it. I know the last couple of weeks we've been teasing this too, that we were going to name the new Fairfield High School boys tennis coach, and we can officially do that. I talked with head AD. He's the only AD.
Yeah, that's right.
Bob Wells, and it's going to be a good friend of Fairfield Current. You all may know him. It's Josh Braddock was the new head boys tennis coach. So getting a little bit of new blood going out there to the tennis program. He was a 2-time state qualifier at tennis level when he was here playing at Fairfield High School. Former Black Diamond Conference MVP in basketball. He will be he's coached at the grade school level for basketball for several years and does private tutorings and stuff like that. So I think he'll really help out the tennis program.
Yeah, he was a little bit older than me. I never got a chance to play with him in my time there, but everybody kind of knew. Yeah. You know, I mean, the Braddock family, just athletes. They're good at whatever they do sports-wise, and looks like a really good hire for Fairfield. I'm excited for their tennis program. I'm sorry to say, mea culpa on this one. The tennis team did have a match on Tuesday, but I had something else come up, so I couldn't go to it, and that is a dagger in my heart.
Jeff. For
shame. Like I said, that's my fault. They have matches at home next week, but we have softball and baseball games. Well, it's just a terrible.
It's a busy time.
A series of not so fortunate events. Yeah. I don't want to bias a copyright or trademark infringement thing, so always thinking. Well,
I think that's going to wrap us up on that nice joke from Jeff there this week on Behind the Fence. Don't forget to visit our website where you can check out all of the happening events here in Fairfield and the Wayne County area at fairfieldcurrent.com. If you want to check out the TV episode of where the softball, baseball previews, lots of highlights and stuff. Also, all the other episodes of Behind the Fence are on there too. fairfieldcurrent.com/TV. So I'm Dan Harris. This has been Jeff Vaughan, and we'll see you next week.